Namaskar. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today in this special session of a 21-day tribute to Women Yoga Trainees organized by Indian Yoga Association. As we celebrate the 10th International Day of Yoga, it's an honor to recognize the transformative power of yoga for promoting health, well-being, unity, and especially in this year, with focus on women well-being and promoting global health and peace. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this special initiative where we will be interviewing an exceptional leader who has dedicated her entire life in making a positive impact in the lives of individuals. Empowered women takes on roles as leaders, educators, and advocates for change, promoting inclusivity, diversity, and empowerment across the society. Today, we have the privilege to speaking with Ms. Meetal Kotecha Shah, who is a Joint Executive Trustee and CEO of Project Life, Rajkot, Gujarat, and Senior Vice Chairperson in Indian Yoga Association Gujarat Chapter. She is also the active member of Indian Society of Blood Transfusion and Immunohematology, majorly known as ISBTI. Under her visionary leadership, Life Health and Wellness Center, established in the year 2003 under Project Life, has been instrumental in spreading the benefits of yoga and holistic wellness to communities across the Saurashtra region. Along with education, healthcare, environment conservation, women empowerment, advanced health science, etc., Ms. Meetal have been a driving force behind many successful initiatives that has made a significant positive impact on numerous lives and communities. Our conversation today will provide valuable insights into Ms. Meetal's journey, the challenges faced, and the innovative solutions implemented by Project Life. We'll explore the impact of their work and discuss the future of the mission. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to express our sincere gratitude to Ms. Meetal for taking her time out and share her experiences and wisdom with us. Her dedication and hard work is truly inspiring, and we are eager to learn from her. So without further ado, let's dive into our discussion. Madam, hope you are ready, and let's start our conversation. Madam, namaskar. Thank you for joining us.
Namaskar.
Hope you are ready, and let us start our conversation.
Sure. Let's start.
Madam, tell me something about yourself.
It didn't just happen for me. In 2008, I joined Project Life. My father started this organization in 1978 with a modest aspiration to support the entire community. He started Saurashtra Medical and Educational Charitable Trust in 1978, and after that, in Indian Medical Scientific Research Foundation in 1991. So I deeply became committed to serving and positively impact the people's lives. So I joined this organization in 2008 to support and to extend what my father has done. I have joined this organization.
Okay. Now, can you please share with us that what is the inspiration behind founding Project Life, and what is the driving force to make you indulge in this humanitarian causes?
As I say, my father is my inspiration. You can say this is the 46th year of our organization. He devoted his entire life to flourish this organization. So I joined this organization, and over the years, this charity has expanded to include environment protection, thalassemia prevention, health and wellness, rural primary education, women's empowerment, advanced health science, and all these things. But as I say, I have seen my father working day and night for this organization, and that when I was very young, you can say at the age of 5 or 6, I have seen my father. So that came, you can say that came in my blood. So I wanted, I don't know how, but that was always in the back of my mind. And so I decided to join and to carry forward his legacy to the next level.
Truly, the initiative of life-saving cause and this noble cause is really heart-touching. Now, ma'am, how is your role evolved in Project Life and till leading to your appointment as CEO in previous year 2023?
Initially, I joined as a director, and then eventually, as the responsibility increases, as I was all the time, I was a trustee, and then I became the joint. As my father is the executive trustee, and I was the joint executive trustee. But the work and the horizons were increasing. So in 2023, due to my dad's need and the growing demands of the organization, I stepped into the role of CEO.
Ma'am, as you have said that Project Life is working in 8 different intervention. I mean, diverse range of interventions are there, from blood banking to thalassemia, from women empowerment to environment conservation. So now, how does these programs synergize and under your leadership and what impact they have made to communities?
These initiatives, along with rural primary education, environmental protection, health and wellness, paramedic education, and energy center, all activities share a common goal, that is serving mankind. So our fundamental objective is to create meaningful change in people's lives. This mission drives me and my colleagues to achieve our goals and motivates me to lead from the front. I believe our wholehearted commitment has enabled our charity to positively impact 9.8 million lives, transforming transforming that education, health, and livelihoods.
9.8 million lives, a truly a remarkable figure. One. What are the strategies and innovations have you implemented to the success and to enhance the quality and scope of Project Life's initiatives, especially primary education and healthcare?
The only constant in life is change. It is said by so many. And this is our guiding strategy. So we embrace the latest innovations in management and technology, constantly upgrading our approach and learning. Our primary schools initiatives goes beyond rebuilding. It includes ongoing improvement in digitization, smart schools, sports, societal, science, and cultural elements as well. We continually enhance healthcare through technology upgrades, research, awareness campaigns, wellness programs, and expand our outreach to social and corporate settings and through virtual platform as well. With growing engagement from people, facilities, and partnership, Project Life keeps evolving. Means we keep evolving.
Very nice. Now, can you please highlight some of the achievements of some of the core milestones during your tenure which you have received, especially regarding women empowerment and educational revitalization?
Major milestones, if we say, then in 2020, we have received the award for our blood banking from ISBT, that is International Society of Blood Transfusion, Amsterdam in Netherlands. And 114 countries are the member of that organization. Amongst them, we are the first to get this award from India. So it's truly a milestone for us. In same way, We have also received the Best NGO Award for the women empowerment. And apart from this, as you say, I can say some statistical data. We have issued more than 700,000, I can say 7 lakh units of blood and blood components to poor and needy patients. We have done thalassemia screening for more than 7 lakh persons, and we have reached to the awareness track for the thalassemia. We have reached to 15 lakhs people. And we are distributing a tree, grown-up trees of 6 to 8 feet after nurturing for 3 to 5 years. We are giving them for the replantation, that type of more than 2,75,000 trees we have distributed for replantation. And through yoga, we have benefited more than 9 lakh people. And in yoga initiative and through meditation and prakshayam, we have done the shibir to all the prisoners of our Gujarat. And so many women prisoners are also benefited for this. We have done prakshayam and yoga shibirs in 22 jails of Gujarat as well. So this is the statistical figure which I have shared.
Truly magnificent figures up till now. Now, ma'am, as you have said that you are the member of you are the vice chairperson of the Indian Yoga Association Gujarat chapter. You are the active member of ISBTI. So how do you use these national engagements to advance the Project Labs mission?
Like whole collaboration and service initiatives, Project Life is benefited from national engagement and partnership. This leverage is crucial for expanding our operations and our outreach. So as being a member of ISBTI and as being a member of IYA and in blood banking, in yoga, whatever the advancement and whatever the new initiatives comes, that leads us to give a significant benefit to the society at large. So we, as a project like works with leading yoga institutions, government agencies, corporate CSR arms and mentors, which significantly help advance our mission as well.
Now, as you have said that you have been awarded by ISB as the Developing Countries Award by ISBT Amsterdam. It's truly a significant reward. So how do you and your team motivates it to pushing this beyond boundaries?
Naturally, even the smallest appreciation can boost our inner energy. So my team and my colleagues and I find praise and very inspiring and motivating. It's truly a motivating. If we get some achievement and if we are recognized, then truly it is inspiring and it is motivating. So we always look forward to do more and more and to get a great new initiatives in place. So we stay grounded, but we stay grounded, yet focused on our goals and moving forward with renewed energy.
And you have previously said that you won the Gujarat State National Award for Women Development. So, what were the reactions after receiving that award that you have received?
Oh my God. Winning the Best NGO Gujarat State Award of Women Development was incredibly rewarding. The reaction were overwhelming with gratitude and motivation to keep doing meaningful work. And in this way, we are motivated and we are inspired. And we received this award long back in 2012. And since starting that, the Women Empowerment Center in 2008, we have empowered more than 11,000 below poverty line widows and women, those who are in need, and helping them to become self-reliant. And if one woman is empowered, it is benefited not only to the family, but family, economy, and society at large. So if we consider If we empower one woman and the family member of the four, then 44,000 people got benefited through our women empowerment program.
11,000 below poverty line women, that is equal to 44,000 family members.
If
So
we consider four in one family.
Yeah, understood. So it's a huge figure up till now. As women empowerment, and another one crucial intervention that you have selected is thalassemia prevention and control. So what are the challenges, and what are the strategies that you have implemented, and what are the challenges you have faced for this thalassemia prevention?
First, let me explain you about what is thalassemia. Thalassemia is a genetic disease disorder. It is not like AIDS. If people can do something and it may happen. It's a genetic disease disorder that it gets from the parents to the children. And the children, they are so innocent, because this is truly a burden on the society if the thalassemia major child takes birth. So in this case, only prevention is the cure. So if we work for the prevention of the thalassemia today, we can get the results in next 20, 25 years, 30 years. So in this case, it's truly indeed a challenging to raise awareness and persuade people for the thalassemia screening, particularly for the youth. Today, you can say youths are going out, they go for restaurants, they go for the movie. They spend money like anything. But if we say them to do a thalassemia test, then they won't do it. So it's truly a challenge for us. But this is because this is the lack of awareness. So as I told you earlier, we have done awareness amongst 1.5 million people, say 15 lakh people. So, and basically the thalassemia major children life is such a burden, such a painful thing you cannot see. So in this case, prevention is the only control. And for that, two thalassemia person should not get married. But if a minor marries to the minor, then the major birth can take place. So here we have taken the support from the government as well. And thankfully, the government support and the dedication of our staff and colleagues in the medical community, we have made remarkable progress in this thing. But there is still a long way to go. And if people come together, if people join hands, then definitely, if we try today, then after 20, 25, 30 years, we can definitely eliminate this disease. So this is truly a challenging, but with the support of all, we may stand forward for this abolition thalassemia from the faith of the.
Now, ma'am, we are interested to know that what are your hopes for Project Life and its impact on humanitarian grounds moving forward?
I see Project Life growing significantly in coming decades, fulfilling my father's vision to support, sustain, and enrich the lives of the underprivileged, and his lifelong dedication to humanitarianism. I aim to honor his dream by taking this mission even further, positively impacting the well-being and livelihoods of millions more people.
Now, ma'am, as we have already discussed about the youth, so now the talented youth of today's generation is willing to know that how good and lucrative the career in this NGO sector today.
So I can say it's challenging, but at the same time, it is so satisfying. It's challenging, but if we can say it's so satisfying, and it's always pleasure. If we do something good for the society, you take an example. Whenever you have done something good for any people, you feel so contented, you feel so satisfied. So it's and the same time it's to give, it's always you feel privileged, you feel contented. So in this career, we have to do good for the society. We have to give back to the society. Whatever society has done for us, we are giving back to society. And the career in this field is, I may say, it's exciting. Same way, it's challenging also. We face so many challenges and deeply fulfilling also. It transforms individuals, fostering humility, modesty, and compassion. It's a journey of selfless service. Began over 4 decades ago, and more than who join, the stronger the impact. As we say, more the merrier. Many, if many hand joins, we can do definitely good to the society. So it's so fulfilling. We can say you can find it so satisfying.
Ma'am, up till now, our conversation was very fruitful, and I must say it's very impressive. But respecting the time, I'm asking you the final question. How does Indian Yoga Association has helped you to reach your goals?
As we discussed earlier, always national platform support and help us in so many ways. Like any new thing that spreads so well. So as the national platform, Indian Yoga Association and ISBTI, all these are the national platform. So working with Indian Yoga Association has greatly benefited Project Life. It has provided us with visibility, recognition, and a national platform to share our voice as well. Because collaboration program and events with IYL expanded our network and connected us with leaders in the field. I think Gujarat chapter initiated in 2019 before pandemic. During that time, we were not known to others or others were known to us. So after engaging with IYL, our horizon has spreadened. It has become wider. So the IYA has expanded our network and connected with the leaders in this field. So now we know all the yoga leaders who are leading yoga, Ayush, IYA. So it is so well connected. Today also, because of IYA, we are here. We are connecting with so many people. And our voice is going to in so many places to the national platform. So this platform and this partnership has strengthened our yoga program, increased participation, and kept us informed about the latest development, and it helps us advance toward our goal of serving the humanity.
Mitaji, thank you so much for taking your time out and give us the inspirational and motivational story about Project Life. And your participation was a great deal to us. And as we move forward, we wish you our best wishes for the growth and development of Project Life in all its endeavors in the future. Thank you so much.
And I also thank IYA for giving us opportunity to the national platform. So thank you, IYA.